Hey everyone, welcome back to another New Age DFS Premier League preview.
We got a tough slate here, a lot of even games, so let's get right into it. Aston Villa and Southampton. Aston Villa plus 130. They're just a mess of a team. I don't like Aston Villa. I don't like Southampton either, but this is like probably the cross-off game at first look for me.
I don't know, it's a cross-off. There's a couple of interesting guys there.
I mean, Digne's always interesting. McGinn's always interesting.
Coutinho.
So let's just go over set pieces. It was Luis last game taking out swingers. Digne, Coutinho back to not taking anything. So I don't know. You can't play Villa for sets. I always will say that. Southampton sets are easy.
You're literally only playing Southampton for sets.
You're playing Mr. Bailout himself, Mr. Ward-Prowse. Even in FA Cup with his 1 point, he gets bailed out with a pen. Never in doubt.
You always find a way. He finds a way.
Hurts. Burnley, Chelsea. Chelsea minus 222. This is an interesting game, especially with how Chelsea are priced. Burnley sets in this team would be Brownhill and McNeil. I don't know if this will be the team.
I think Westwood's probably going to be
for
back
sure.
in.
I agree for sure. I don't want anybody. Maybe Pope.
Yep. Pope's really interesting, I think.
He always is at home. I like him way more at home.
Yeah.
In Chelsea, this team, Mount probably take most. James, I think he has to play because Aspie's out, so James could maybe take some. Alonso could too. But Chelsea are priced really soft, so we'll see. But never play at Burnley's never a fun matchup at all.
No.
Newcastle, Brighton. This is a tough 50-50 pick'em game. Brighton's somewhat of a favorite, plus 163. This team, it's Target and Fraser splitting. They both went off last game. Might do the same again today. I mean,
they're playing a down-a-man Brentford. It's a lot different than Brighton.
I mean, you can't refuse a defender left winger.
No, I still love Fraser. You're right about that.
And then for Brighton, I think we saw Solly March take this team. I don't like this team at all. This is the team.
I don't know. March,
No.
I think, would split with probably Gross would be my guess, but that is a rough lineup.
Ali Mack would always want something. If this is the lineup, Brentford's just a full-on cross-off for me. But
Brighton's a full-on cross-off.
Brighton, yeah. Brentford's probably a cross-off too. I hate them.
Yes.
Which we'll go to next. They're favorites somehow, but they're just beyond pathetic. So we'll go Norwich team. If this is the team, Rashica would take everything, and he is just a great smash play if he's in this team. But I don't know. I feel like Billy Gilmore starting for sure. I don't know for who, but like this is kind of an
probably
interesting.
Probably cleaner Rupp.
Yeah, I would say for Rupp. And then for Brentford, if there's no Eriksson, I'm praying there's Eriksson. He'd be so good in this spot if he starts. But if there's no Eriksson, we saw Mbeumo and Jensen. I never play any of these guys because they're just tilting.
Tony, it's interesting. Tony's back in the lineup. He's been out for a while.
He came off the bench last game. I don't know if he was injured, if that was tactical or not, but
I think he's been injured.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Norwich are like the fullbacks and everything. Like they're in play. I don't want anyone from Brentford, even though they're playing horrible Norwich. They're not much better either than them. So let's go to Wolverhampton, Crystal Palace last game. Wolverhampton plus 138. Wolverhampton are a mess. They're not a fun team. They make every game dead. I'm sure Shaw will be chalk. But the sets here would be 8 Nuri Moutinho, maybe Podence, but doubt it. And they just take on both sides. They're both really annoying to watch also. Then Crystal Palace, if this is a team, I have some interest in Conor Gallagher if Elise misses. I maybe Mitchell would split. I don't know if you think that, but
I think it'd just be largely Gallagher.
So yeah, it'd be interesting for sure. So let's go into the pricing forward. I think in cash, you have to look at these Chelsea prices. Man, if Werner, Havertz start, or Pulisic and Havertz, who are in projected, I think you play one of them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard picking attackers against Burnley. They keep games so narrow. I mean, I think you have to at least try the one of the Chelsea attackers for that cheap.
Like, even if you play Lukaku, even if Lukaku starts, he's way too cheap for playing Burnley. But Burnley games are just, I think you have to just play for floor against Burnley. So, like, Mount, and that's about
And
it.
Chelsea, I mean, Mount's been terrible, just awful. I mean, it's difficult with them.
So let's just look in general at the pricing other than Chelsea. I think the first person that goes in is Rashika. All these guys above him are Zaha GPP, Tony GPP. All these guys GPP or won't play. Like, I don't understand how Jordan Ayew 7,800 and Kai Havertz is 2K cheaper, but like, I don't know. What were they thinking there? Rashika, people, I don't know, maybe they'll go McNeil. I just hate when people just throw him in just to throw him in. But
this is like the worst matchup for him ever. And I bet he still will be alone.
And a lot of these guys are just horrible. Like, I don't want any of these guys, even for GPP. Like,
Jimenez, I could be convinced. Yeah,
maybe a sprinkle here and there. Watkins, I always like Ollie Watkins. None of these guys are like cashy plays. And Bumo, people went to last week for some reason. Then they got the red card and he was screwed.
Gross if the whole projected is completely wrong and there's somehow no Marsh or McAllister.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's always good for 10. Pulisic, I mean, I play Pulisic. He does nothing. Then he goes off in the Champions League. I mean, he's had one good game. He's cheap on Chelsea, so people will flock to him for sure. Joelinton got bailed out last game.
Yeah, not for
Havertz. I think that obviously first piece is people are probably going to go Rashika Havertz, right?
Yeah, probably. They could just go like Lukaku, Havertz, or some combination of that, yeah.
Because there's no Rafinha or someone like that who has sets, good and open play in a great matchup. There's nobody like that.
Barely any flurry forwards.
Right. Keep going. Danny Ings, GP.
Chris Wood.
He still hasn't scored. He got enough last game, though. He did get there. I played him in cash like a psycho, and he got his 8.
One of these days. He's got to score eventually.
He should have scored. If he can't do it against 10-man Brentford, I don't know when he's going to do it. But the day
he's still cheap enough to be worth it, though.
I don't know. He's not free, so.
Keychain I kind of like for that cheap.
Yeah, I don't mind him for GPP. He's somewhat been getting there too in floor. He seems like the guy get a Wolves notification and he scores, but then it's disallowed for offside every time. I don't know. So maybe some Heechan for GPP. And other than that, I mean, Pookie actually is really, really cheap in a really good matchup. He might be a cash play. He could be in play for cash. I mean, he's been kind of bad, but man, 4,100 Pookie against Brentford. Man, even Josh Sargent too. He's been having a floor. I hate Josh Sargent, but man, he could get there too. So I don't mind them at all. I'm not playing anyone else up here though.
No.
Mid. This is where you got to make a couple decisions.
The first two names right there are going to
decide the whole slate. Yeah. Whole slate is on them for sure. Who do you like more?
Oh my God, I actually think I lean Mount slightly, but I could see you running both of them and just punt. Like you saw, there's plenty of cheap forwards you could go. Just hope for a goal. Just go the two big guns in midfield.
If you're playing Ward Prowse tomorrow, you better if you're in GPP, if you're playing Ward Prowse, you better have some Aston Villa guys in there because you're hoping they score first, so he can get the ideal game flow, so you can run it back. Because I mean, he's so 15 crosses. He's just relying on crossing the ball or just a free kick or a penalty.
Look at his goal contributions, though. I mean, he's got 10 and 14 games, like every other game almost.
Just he's due for one of these 8 or 7s. I know it was against good teams, but he's due for one of those. And
those are so rare right now for him. I don't know.
The decision's on them. You play one.
I think this is the first time he's not been underpriced.
So they're making you think about it. He's not a plug and play. Next, I don't think Olise is going to play from projected, I guess. Gallagher, if that's the lineup that we saw, I'm interested. Although Wolves games are really dead, I
I
still
don't
like
think
Gallagher, but he's in play. He's not like
Yeah.
a smash. Hate Buendia. Ugh.
He could still do it, though. Like, he just gets points one way or
GPP.
another.
McAllister, if that's the lineup, I'll pass. We can all beg and hope that Eriksson starts because he's just in a great spot if so. Even, I mean, you could think about playing him off the bench if you're some sort of psycho.
Not on a 5-gamer. Not on a 5-gamer.
Some people do it. There's like Jorginho for a pen, but even 6'3", a pen isn't enough. But
McGinn.
GPP, he did good last game if I recall. Nah, he did all right. We keep going. Armstrong's been pretty good, but he's a little overpriced. Willock's been pretty good, also overpriced. Never play João Moutinho unless he's free. He's not free. March is kind of interesting.
I don't think. It's not enough for me. Like a 10 is like his best case, which I don't think is good enough.
I think my favorite play, he's not projected like we talked about, but if he starts, I think Billy Gilmore, he had Monopoly last start he had, so 8 crosses. I feel like he's a guy who's going to be popular if he starts in a really good play.
I mean, he's fine. I think I'd rather have him a little cheaper than that.
I mean, you're probably not playing him in GPP for sure.
No.
Like, unless he's like a last man in type deal, right?
Yeah. And even then, so maybe go Ruben Neves for the upside. Or He-Chan. Go on, He-Chan.
Neves is just, he's an always get there midfielder. You play him in Showdown. You play him in Showdown if he's 4K, but I don't know if I like him in a big classic slate like this. Ramsey GPP, I keep playing him. He keeps getting there. Westwood, not the best matchup. Luis and Jensen are on the perma don't play list for me. They're just too annoying to deal with. Yanolt, maybe. Lineup dependent, but maybe. If you go down, it gets really barren down here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Norman at the beginning of the season was all right.
No, not anymore.
No Norman?
No Norman. It's not beginning of the season with corner Norman.
No, I'll pass on Trincao. I will never play Trincao. He can be free. After watching him last game, I can't play him. And if Saul were to start, he'd be probably a plug-and play, but...
Rupp is kind of interesting. If in 3,100 he scored against Liverpool,
and he gets the garbage points.
Yeah,
he's a guy you don't see at all during the game and ends up with 8. So, all right, we'll go to defender now. Where I don't know if there's decisions to be made, but there's a lot of good plays.
Yeah,
starting with the Reese James, I wish he was a little cheaper. I know I like playing guys against Burnley at Burnley for floor. But I don't like paying a premium, and this is what you're doing.
Yeah, 8K is a little too much, but next thing you know, he drops 2 goals like he did at the beginning of the season, so when you need it.
Yep, exactly. Alonso, again, a little overpriced. 8 Nuri's definitely overpriced. He's been kind of horrible. I mean, really horrible, even with set pieces. Like, I don't know how you can have set piece and still have 5 points in a game, but 8 Nuri's the guy. And then I think like last week we hammered down on this that we want to play at least one of these guys, if not 2.
And you wanted 2.
You wanted like 5 defenders last week. Target 20 and 15 his last 2, splitting corners. I think like literally I might just go target Fraser at D and call it a day.
That's what I did last week, and I printed. Just do run it back.
I mean, they're too cheap. Fraser shouldn't be defender, but I wish he was midfielder in this slate, to be honest, because midfield is kind of. But so yeah, I think Target and Fraser are my favorite.
Digne is probably the next guy in for me. He just does it up always. Look at that.
He was a bad play last week, and he still got like 8.
He clearly wasn't a bad play.
At he was a 8 points when you could have played Fraser or Target.
Yes, I mean, I went to all 3. That was my defender lineup.
Lamptey, no. Murphy, if he's playing left wing, he's going to get subbed early probably, but he's in a good spot.
He's fine. I don't know if I'd play him over any of the other guys, though.
No, I wouldn't. But GPP, maybe you're looking for a goal from a defender, sure. Cash, no. Cucurella, no.
He's okay. Yeah, once again, like there's those three other defenders are just so much better than like all these guys.
Yeah, it's like night and day. Like they should be like 3,000 more than Livramento here. Keep going, Mitchell. If he were to somehow split and we knew, maybe. Canos, if he's playing like that right wing, which he's projected, he's interesting. He's been like beyond horrible.
Yeah, so
but
bad.
He's due for a good game. In Norwich, if he's playing right wing, I don't know how you're not tempted a little bit by him.
He's a little tempting. He's the first guy that I've been swayed by a little bit here.
And we keep going. All center.
You're going to be paying up for at least one defender. Like you have to. And then if you're not paying up, you're paying all the way down. Like I think
I like Max Aarons actually. I know he's been kind of bad, but I like Norwich a lot for GPP. Even Aarons, if he's like your last man utility, I don't mind him either.
Yeah.
Kraft has been playing right back, and even in the smash match. Well, he got 9 in a smash matchup.
That was literally best case. The other guys who you could have picked instead dropped 30s.
Right.
Not for.
Yeah, the rest of these guys are just center backs, GPP or bust, whatever. So we'll finish it off. Goalkeeper. It's important to get goalkeeper right in a 5-game slate. You get goalkeeper wrong, you're toast, regardless. Yeah. So Mendy, he's been like good. Like regardless of like these logs being horrible, he's been like a good keeper. But
yeah, Chelsea are solid defensively.
Yeah, I think the popular route is just to go Saw because Wolverhampton are so boring and dead, and they're good at home and good defensively. And even if Saw were to give up a goal, he's still going to get there for you. So I don't know. Saw.
Palace are one of those. Palace are a shot on goal team too. Like they're the keepers they play usually get there.
Like Zaha will just shoot aimlessly for no reason.
Same with Ayew and Zaha, just racking the shot on goals.
They're just annoying. They're just showdown plays. Next, Emmy Martin. I'm just not going to play him. Their defense is just bad. Like, I know they kept a clean sheet last game, but their defense is just bad. So I'm not playing him. I don't know about you.
I don't mind it in GPP. Like you have to play one of the less obvious guys usually to do well, since it's like getting a lot of shot actions rather giving up 10 or just making 10 saves.
Yeah, I never go to him. Raya had the perfect game flow, so that's why he did good last game, but I'm not going there today or tomorrow. Dubravka's kind of interesting.
Not for me. I don't like picking.
Brighton have been horrible.
Brighton.
They've been horrible.
They've been bad, but really they're still that 1-1 team. Like you expect their games to end 1-1 like every time. I
agree, but the last two they've been like literally lost. So, I mean, unless there's a lineup that I see is like, never mind. But cheap Dubravka. Newcastle have some momentum. I don't mind them. Not playing this guy. No, thank you. No, thank you. Cruel or whoever it is. I'm interested in whoever it is. If it is Cruel, I like him because Brentford are bad, like we said.
I mean, Tony does change things a little, but I think it's still worth the attempt for that.
Praying they don't.
He's the second cheapest keeper.
Yeah, like.
Or third cheapest, I guess.
Forrester, he's a save guy, but if I'm going for saves, I'm going with Pope or something. If it's Butland in goal, the rule is to never play Butland, even against whoever he had to play in the FA Cup. He still couldn't keep a clean sheet, so never Butland. Pope, final guy. I mean, he's probably going to be chalk in cash.
He's
at
in
least.
Play, super in play. Yeah, in cash.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys crush. We have all the slates covered tomorrow on our Patreon. Link in the description. every slate. We got golf. We got showdowns for everything. We see the soccer lobbies full of a million contests for the next 2 days. Everything will be covered. Golf, showdowns, everything there. So make sure you sub to that, and we'll see you guys next week.
Later, guys.